Man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. I'm coming to you with an evening show. These are kind of special occasions when I jump on in the evening because your boy got things I'm doing. You know what I mean? I get tired from time to time, but I thought going into 2026, it would be a good time to really just do a full assessment of this squad, to do a full assessment of the Detroit Pistons, to be able to take a look at what we've learned about this team throughout 2025 and really think about what this coming year is going to look like. I mean, we're still the number one seed in the East, second best record in the league. But this is going to be one hell of a month. I don't know if y'all have looked ahead. I have, right? I did a refresher just to make sure. But I looked ahead to this month, and it's a hell of a month. It's a hell of a month. And so we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about state of the union, state of the Detroit Pistons, and we're going to address some of the things that we've seen. And we're going to talk about if they're headed in the right direction. Maybe even talk about some of y'all's topics of what direction you think that we need to go in. The trade deadline is approaching. All-Star game is approaching. It'll be here before we know it. And then next thing you know, it'll be a playoff push. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video. But before we do, as always, if you can, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And definitely become a member in 2026. It's just the thing to do. It's just the thing to do. Become a member in 2026. All right. But with that said, let's get into it. Let's get into it. How I want to break this down. I'm going to talk about the team a little bit. And we're also going to talk about each player and what we're seeing. What we've been seeing. What this roster has been showing us. What we can expect. What we can look forward to. And potentially, what are some moves that we need to make on the back end? Can we afford to wait for this summer to potentially upgrade at certain positions? Should we look to make a move now? What could that move be? Because sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Sometimes some of y'all be recommending stuff and got no real solution. Some of y'all just out here like, oh yeah, we should make a trade. For who? Somebody. Where? On one of these teams. What are they going to do for us? Something more than the other guy. You can't just have an imaginary, figurative, athlete player that's going to bring you more than what the other guy does. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just going to magically find another Asar Thompson level defender or who can also knock down shots and score 20 points a game. Right? Because that guy is not available. Right? That guy is called Prime Kawhi Leonard. Right? That's what that guy's. He's generational. And when it comes to winning, really many times it's like, how can you put a puzzle together? Do you have the pieces? And once you have the pieces, you got to figure out how to fit it. And I feel like that is exactly where these Detroit Pistons are right now. Is they're trying to see what fits. They're trying to figure out, hey, do we have enough? And I think resoundingly, with the number one seed in the East, I think we know we have enough. Now, I won't exactly say we've had the toughest schedule, but this month of January, we've got a hell of a schedule. We have got a hell of a schedule. And I think it's going to test this team. It's going to reveal a lot about who we are. It's going to show us. It's going to make it clear exactly where we're at. Let me run through this real quick. But before I do, let me go ahead and check out the chat real quick. Yo, Charles Butler, what's good? Salute, fam. It's good to see you in the chat. Brother Jay, salute. Happy New Year's. Marvin Tolbert, yo, always good to see you. What up? Maddox, I would love Kawhi and the Pistons. Hell no. See, this the shit I'm talking about right here. This right here. That talk right there. We need Kawhi Leonard. Bro, we got to consider all the factors. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. That's what I do. There's a reason why it's your man, 100 grand. Ross with The Rock never stops. There's always something to talk about. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I ain't going to front. I ain't going to mince words. I'm not going to try to be nice and pretty and y'all say whatever. That's just a terrible idea. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just a terrible idea. Kawhi Leonard is okay. I'm going to dive into this. Marvin Tolbert says in the chat, only guy I wouldn't mind on our team is Trey Murphy. You know who else wouldn't mind Trey Murphy? 29 other teams. 29 other teams would love to have Trey Murphy III on their team, especially with that contract. You know who else is one of those 29 teams? New Orleans. New Orleans would love to have Trey Murphy III on their team. He's not going anywhere, bro. And what we would have to give up to get him? Bro, we don't want that life. We don't want that life. We're good. I like Trey Murphy III too. He's nice out there. He's not available. He's not available. Okay. So let me go through the roster. Before I go through the roster, actually, while I'm looking this up real quick, make sure y'all smash that like button. Remember, it's a small thing for y'all. It's a small thing to smash the like button, but it's a big thing for the channel. Okay? Small thing for you, big thing for me. I appreciate the love and support, especially when y'all consistently smash the like button. All right, here we go. Let's actually look at what this month holds for the Detroit Pistons. We already started it off. It's been rough. It's been rough. The Miami Heat, that was a trap game. It wasn't even right. And we're actually walking into a hell of a weekend. On Sunday, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I'm going to be honest. Normally, I'd be like, let's get it. But you know who we got the very next night? The New York Knicks. I mean, really though? Really? We got the Cavs and the Knicks. We could literally start off 2026 0-3. And then 2 days later, we've got the Chicago Bulls. It's almost like this month, after that doubleheader, Sunday, Monday, Cleveland, New York, we go into every other game is going to be against a playoff team. And then the other game is going to be against a good fringe playoff team, meaning that you got to play just honest enough to beat them. You can't really lay off. Because if you mess around, they're going to jump on you and beat you. They're going to pull a Utah. That's what's going to happen. You can't play with your food this month. You've got to win all the games you're supposed to win. And then you got to win a good amount of the ones that are right there with you. So after we have the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday, New York Knicks on Monday, the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday, that's the trap game. That's the game that you think you could take your foot off the pedal. That's the game that gets you. That's the game that our bench has to step up. That's the game that guys like Marcus Sasser, Jay Nivey, right, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, got to have big games for us. They got to be able to step in there because, if I'm honest, I don't even know if Jalen Duren is going to play these next 2 games. He rolled that ankle. He has a history of ankle issues. And let me just say this about Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren, yo, when I watch that play over and over, because I study the game, y'all know me. I'll watch on League Pass. I'll rewind, look at play over 3-4 times just to see how it all developed. Your shoes look loose, my boy. I know you're only 22 years old. Look, when I was 22, I was barely lacing my shoes too. But you're in the NBA, bro. You got to tie your shoes, man. Look, I'm not going to get too far in it. but your foot looked like it was sliding in the shoe all along. I digress. There's a good chance that Jalen Duren is not available for the next couple of games. It would be smart to make sure that he's fully rested, comes back 100% with that ankle, not playing on a slightly injured ankle. So it's going to be a tough night out. No Duren against two of the biggest front lines, front courts in the NBA. There's a good chance we don't have Duren. Cleveland, New York. We could start the season off, this year off 0-3. Then we got Chicago. Chicago always plays us tough. They're in our division. They're not scared of us, even if we beat them, because they beat us on opening night. I don't think they have Josh Giddey, but I don't think that necessarily helps us. Because Josh Giddey, as much as he was good on offense for them, he was horrendous on defense. So we could target him. We could attack him. And now they're replacing him with more defense. They're going to be a tough night out. They're not going to fold. They're not going to bend. We're going to have to beat them. But then right after we beat them, right after we take it to them, we've got a few nights off. Thank God. Thank God. And then we got the Clippers. Charles Butler, B-Ball, Paul, time to shine. Yo, I agree. 100% agree. I think this is time to shine for sure. For sure. We'll see what JB Bickerstaff chooses to do. We'll see. But then we got the Clippers a few nights later. And then we got like what? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got 4 days off. 4 days off before we get the Phoenix Suns, who've been killing it. Phoenix has been killing it. We can't front like they haven't. Yo, Xavier Powell, what's good, man? What's good? We did beat the Bulls without Giddey, but they are a team that will play us tough. Says Sasser, Tolu Smith, maybe. Yeah, guys that I expect to play big. Marvin Tolbert, Ball was a starter in this league. Don't sleep. B-Ball was a starter. Yeah, he was. Big Atya, what's good? Big Atya, yo, one of my members, yo, from the beginning. Big Atya, it's good to see you. We need to lock in on our defense again. Oh, real talk. But I already think that JB Bickerstaff is locked into that. The first person he brought off the bench was Javonte Green. There is not a more consistent defender on our team than Javonte Green. That's who we went with first off the bench. Not Ivy, not Ron. Javonte. That's saying something. But let's get to the rest of this month. We've got the Suns that Thursday after a few nights off. Then we got the Pacers. Then we've got the Celtics, who already beat us a couple times. Then we got the Pelicans. Zion is back. And then we got the Rockets. They're going to want some revenge for sure. And then we got the Kings. And then we got the Nuggets. Shit. Hopefully Jokic ain't back. But I ain't scared of no damn Jokic. I want to get tested and see what that team has got. And then we got the Suns again, yo. We got the Suns again. And then just to cap it off, just for kicks and giggles, we got the Golden State Warriors. January 30th. That's our month. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if you count the Miami Heat yesterday, playoff teams that we will be facing this month. This month is going to test us. 100%. This month is going to test us. Now, I want to go through this roster. I want us to have an opportunity to evaluate, look at these guys, check out who they got, who's doing what, and we're going to talk about it. Here we go. Let me pull it up real quick. Wow. There we go. There we go. All right. Actually, this is that one. Here we go. Let me get this full roster. All right. Detroit Pistons. Let's start at the top. Mr. Cade Cunningham. Cade is having one hell of a year. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's having a hell of a year. Let me grab his stats real quick. He's averaging 26.5 points, 6 rebounds, 9.7 assists. He's a great player. A great talent. Let me start there. Cause some of y'all be thinking I'm hating. I ain't hating, man. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, man. I'm not. Look, some of y'all got this idea that for you to like somebody, you gotta only shine on the parts that you want to look at, that make you feel like, oh, everything is perfectly fine, everything is a-okay. Look, that's not how life works. That's not how life works. All of us got our stuff. All of us are different. All of us are figuring out life. Ain't none of us had to be perfect in order to be great. Shaq wasn't perfect to be great. Kobe wasn't perfect to be Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry. I can go down the list. So talking about the deficiencies along with the greatness comes with it. That's how you know you really rock with somebody. If all you doing is looking at what you want, things that make you feel good, you ain't really rock with that person. You're not really the fam yet. So when I say Cade is a great player, please hold that. Please hold that. Right? He has progressed this year. He's gotten a lot stronger. Last game against the Heat and the Lakers, his determination to get to the rim, get to the free throw line. I think he shot like 18 of 19 free throws. It has to be a career high. Has to be. He's knocking down more of his threes, getting off the ball more, even huddling the guys up, making sure that they're locked in. And he's still struggling with consistency, maturity, and focus. Intangibles. Consistency. You can't disappear for a whole half. And the reality is it's far too common that Cade Cunningham disappears for a half. It's interesting to hear people chant MVP. MVP. But the MVP shows up randomly. That's not an MVP. MVP shows up from start to finish. Nikola Jokic, even if he has, let's say, a low-scoring first half, it's not because he's disengaged. It's because he's doing other things. He's getting guys going, right? Facilitating, playmaking, hitting the boards. But there's sometimes you look around and be like, yo, where's Cade? Where's Cade? I know I've looked around and asked that too. Cade Cunningham is getting there. He's getting there. But until he can be consistent, He ain't never going to be top of the MVP list. He's not. You don't ask about consistency when it comes to Giannis, Jokic, even Luka. He's going to show up and do exactly what he does. There's still the issue of the ball security, turning it over. He's still growing. He's still growing. Now, let me get down this list. I'm going to get through the list pretty quickly, and we're going to talk about the outlook. Tobias Harris, he's in a contract year. He's been solid for us. Solid, if unspectacular. Probably the best way to put it. I think most of his contribution comes in just the balance he gives this roster. It comes in the way that he's able to contribute in improving the overall team IQ. He knows where to be. And I've said this before in the short that I just dropped today. In that short video, I said, there is real value to just knowing where to be and being there. You look at guys like Jaden Ivey still figuring out, where am I supposed to be? Asar Thompson, where am I supposed to be? Cade Cunningham, Jalen Durant, Isaiah Stewart. I can go down the line. Ron Holland. Some of these guys are just out of position. Creating bad spacing, crowding the paint, not being aware of where the mismatches are, not making the game easy. Some of our young guys are just not there. And so Tobias Harris has been an integral part of this team's success. I can't knock it. I can't pretend like he hasn't been exactly what this team has needed. As much as I like a PJ Washington, as much as I like, and I really do, I think that would be somebody I would love to get next offseason because he's not available to be traded for. But next offseason, I would love to get PJ Washington. And at the same time, oh, here we go. Xavier's Powell. Look, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every time, no Michael Porter Jr. No. What about Michael Porter Jr. says Detroit basketball? Does Michael Porter Jr. play defense? Is he tough? Is he physical? I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying Michael Porter Jr. is not talented. I'm saying he's not Detroit basketball. He's not Detroit basketball. He's not a leader, and he's too old to not be a leader. Yes, he's putting up numbers in Brooklyn, but when he's on a championship contending team in Denver, he was exactly who he was. If we get Michael Porter Jr., we're going to have another cone on defense in the starting lineup, meaning we will have another player for defenses to exploit over and over and over and over to get themselves going. That's not what I want. And keep in mind, I think Michael Porter Jr. is best served at the power forward position. 6'10", 230, 240 pounds. I've seen all I need to see out of Michael Porter Jr. I don't want him. When he left Denver, there was no complaints. If you listen to Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, they couldn't wait to get that dude out of there. You listen to the things he says in press conferences, on his podcast, says some clown shit. I'm okay. But I digress. Let me get back to this roster. Tobias Harris is in a contract year. And he's been exactly what we've needed. And as much as I would love a PJ Washington, I'm willing to wait until this offseason. I'm willing to wait because right now, Tobias Harris, he brings a degree of consistency and reliability that this roster sorely lacks. Sorely lacks. Sorely. Duncan Robinson. I'm going to be honest, I think he's on his way out. Look, I like Duncan. Don't get me wrong, I like Duncan, but I don't like him more than Javante. I don't like him more than Jaden. I don't like him more than Ron. I don't like him more than Marcus. I don't like him more than Stu, Asar, Cade. When I look at what he truly brings, because keep in mind what we saw from Malik Beasley, who led the NBA in three-pointers. I don't care if Anthony Edwards took it from him at the very end, last game of the season. He led the NBA in three-pointers made. What happened when he got to the playoffs? And teams keyed in on him. Teams schemed to take away his shot. And they closed out extra hard. What happened? His three ball went away. And then all of a sudden we said, well, what else does he do? I had Milwaukee Bucks fans say, man, he disappears in the playoffs every year. I thought y'all knew. I thought y'all got the memo. We didn't grab Malik Beasley last season because he was the top free agent in the league. We got him because a lot of other people didn't want him. He's an undersized shooting guard who didn't really play make or facilitate and doesn't play defense. He doesn't rebound. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands and if he's not shooting, and when in the playoffs came and they took away his shot, he was a negative for us. He was a liability for us. Guys like Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson were able to target him. And that's what teams are going to do. I say all that to say Duncan Robinson, I think, is headed in a similar trajectory. As much as I like that he has improved size over 6'3" Malik Beasley, okay, 6'7", 6'8". Okay, cool. But if his shot's not dropping, he becomes a negative. That's just the reality. So I'm trying to eat this little chocolate real quick. This little thing. Y'all ever had these little chocolate things? Smacking, right? I'll open it later. Look. Duncan Robinson, I think he's on his way out. Because the reality is he doesn't do enough to earn being a starter. And if he's coming off the bench, I don't know if he does enough to overcome what other guys do better and more. In other words, if Duncan Robinson goes to the bench, which is going to happen eventually, is he giving you more than, let's say, Ron Holland? Maybe you could look at it and be like, some nights he's got it going more than Ron Holland does. Okay, cool. But if you're looking at what he does best, shoot the ball, do we really need it as much? Especially if we have Marcus Sasser. Especially when we have Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart. Right? You see where I'm kind of going with this. That we've got guys that can knock down threes. I think we're going to have a big second half of the season because we're going to have improved continuity. And as a result, we're going to get greater quality shots. Shots that guys are more comfortable with. Shots that guys see coming. Right? Because you have that consistency once you have an understanding of what to expect from game to game in terms of the rotation, in terms of who you're going to be playing with, how to play off of one another. To be honest, it's been a strength and a weakness of ours. Because we could play with so many different lineups, guys can figure it out and adjust when there's an injury. But the problem is because we're playing with so many different lineups, we're still behind in necessarily fine-tuning our offense or defense. so that we can play at a high level consistently. We're constantly figuring it out. And it's like, honestly, it's making me seasick. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Who are we gotta, hedge for? Who are we gonna trust to close out and to contain? And how do we make up for this guy's deficiencies? And who's gonna do all the fluctuation prevents us from getting down the continuity that we need to really thrive. To really thrive. I digress. I'm gonna be saying that a lot tonight. We got Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart, um, man, I love Stu. I just need him to figure out that whole pick and pop thing versus pick and roll. I need him to be able to see when the paint is crowded and just pop to the top of the key and let Cade hit you for a wide open three. I need Stewart to not pick up techs and bad fouls. If he could do those two things for me, I love him. I love him. I'm not gonna go too deep on Stu because that's my man. That's my man. All right, we got Karis LeVert. You know, I'm not the biggest Karis LeVert fan. He's got his game. He does what he does, but I'm not saying he's immovable. I'm not saying he is integral to this team's success, even. I do like that he's a veteran. I do like that he shows up as a veteran to be able to support this team and being consistent. But I wouldn't necessarily look at him and be like he's untradeable. He has to be a part. No, no, no. Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is probably the more polarizing players on this team. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for him to take that next step. We've been waiting for Ivy to show that he's ready. And I don't think it's going to happen until he's in the starting lineup. Until he's in that starting lineup, we have no idea what he really looks like. Because to be honest, he's not a bench player. He doesn't just come off the bench and he's ready to go. He takes a while to get himself going. But with that said, look, Duncan Robinson can have a positive plus minus as long as he's playing alongside Cade Cunningham, Asara Thompson, Jalen Duren. But the thing is, I wonder who Ivy could be playing alongside those guys too. It'd be different responsibilities and expectations. But I think that he plays really well in that lineup instead of the bench. Having to split ball handling responsibilities with guys like Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, right? He doesn't always know where to be and what to do. Now, let me say this. Jaden Ivey is still somebody that I'm pulling for. Because if he becomes who we think he can become, he is a piece that makes us into a true contender. Jaden Ivey, even if he just gets back to what he was doing last season, I'm not talking about dropping 30. I'm not talking about more game winners. I'm talking about the confidence, the focus, the consistency. If he could do that, we're right there. We're right there. That is why Ivy is so intriguing. He's one of those guys. He's one of those talents. He has something you can't teach. He has the sheer athleticism, the motor, the nose for the basket, the first step, the explosiveness that you can't teach. And when that energy is focused, he's an absolute problem. Jaden Ivey, as much as I want him to start, he's got to start playing like he's playing for a contract. And I'm going to say the same thing about Jalen Duren. Both of them have to start playing like they're playing for a contract. Worse, Duren seems to take for granted he's going to make the All-Star game. Seems to take that for granted. He acts like he's a shoo-in. The reality is he's absolutely not. And so when I see Jaden Ivey unfocused, only 2 points on the game, I go, bro, didn't you already bet on yourself? Didn't you already bet on yourself? Probably could have signed for $20 million this season. This past summer, he could have signed for $20 million probably. Maybe even 25, 26, 27. You can't have 2-point games. You just can't. Jaden Ivey's got to get locked in. I always say, though, this is a marathon of a season, not a sprint. It's not the 100. It's that 10, 15, 20 miles with them Kenyan runners. Long distance, stride. And you just got to keep at it. Because 82 games, by God, ain't another league in the world that plays 82 games for the regular season, not counting playoffs. Don't forget about the in-season tournament. Shit is wild. This is what I'll say. I think Jaden Ivey gets it together. Sorry, I meant to say there's not a single other basketball league. Clearly. Basketball. We're talking about basketball. Big at you in the chat. What's good, brother? Let me see. I want to see Ivey's defense on the Knicks guards. We missed that. His speed. Completely agree. And he's going to have an opportunity to show it because we got Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson. And to be honest, I know exactly what they're going to do if Duncan Robinson is out there. They're going to target him, and they're going to get off to a good game if Duncan Robinson starts off the game having to guard those guys. Even if he's not starting the game on those guys, they're just going to get a screen, force a switch. Somebody's getting off because Duncan Robinson's out there. That's the reality. It's a bad look for us. It's a bad look. I would love to see Ivey take that defensive responsibility to lock those guys up. Not that he's going to keep them from getting to their numbers, but make it hard. Let them know that they got resistance. Let them know that they're going to have to work. And then bust their ass on the other end. Take them to the rack, dunk on them, get the offensive rebound, get out in transition, backdoor cut, knock down threes, do all the dynamic things that you do against the best guards in the East. That's how Ivey makes a name for himself. Busting their ass. Now, real quick, got 31 people in the chat, only 16 likes. Do me a favor, smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing, but a big thing for the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. all of y'all who come through. Big at you, yo. You see the switches to get Duncan so painfully, bro. It's so painful. You like, as soon as you see Duncan Robinson having to guard somebody, you like, damn it. Here we go. Bucket. Bucket. Every time. Now, I want to go through the rest of this. Isaiah Stewart got the Karis LeVert, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson. Y'all remember, Asar Thompson is 22 years old. Same thing I was saying about Jalen Duren. It's going to take him time to figure it out. People forget he didn't just miss half a season with blood clots. He missed a third of the season before in his second year, and then half the season in that third year. Sorry. Yes. The back end of, he's in year 3. So the back end of his rookie year, he missed. He missed that entire off season, which is a huge year. That is a huge thing to miss the off season. And then he missed half of the year last season. He's really in his second year. May sound like I'm making excuses for him. I'll be the first one to say, Asar Thompson, I keep saying it's the best way to do it. That coaching staff needs to make a highlight reel of Asar Thompson's best moves, makes, plays over the course of his early career. Show it to him and have him watch that shit every single fucking day. Every single day. So that mentally, his imagination can apply what he's seen himself do. What he knows he can do. The more aggressive he is, the more consistent he becomes. The other part of that is that Asar Thompson has to remember he's a point forward. He can't let Cade get away with 7 turnovers. At some point, you got to come get the ball, bro. Say, nah, Cade, I got it. We've got to see him step up as a leader. Go get that ball. Because we know Cade off the ball works. You bringing it up works. You have to stay focused. You have to. And aggressive. Ron Holland, 20 years old. I'm not going to say much about Ron because we just want Ron to be Ron. But a major indicator for if he's locked in is his rebounding. When he's rebounding, hell yeah. Let's go. When he forgets to rebound, you're like, damn, bro, where'd you go? That's just the reality. We need Ron Holland to rebound. And that is probably the number one indicator if he's locked in. Last game against the Miami Heat, he was not locked in. I'm watching him and Ivy, and I get it. It's the end of a road trip, trap game. You barely got in the night before. You're tired. I get it. Shit happens. But we need you to step that shit up, though, bro. Step that shit up. This is what being a professional is all about. How to make your life consistent so you can show up consistently. All right? I almost feel like that movie Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice. And a little figure keep jumping up. Message. Message. That's a big thing. Make your life consistent so you can show up consistently for what matters most. That's real talk. Get sleep. Bruh, get some sleep. Eat well. Stay hydrated. Self-care. Consistency. So you can show up. Ron, you got to learn that. All of us got to learn that, to be honest. Now, let me get down to Jalen Duren. Man of the hour. 22 years old. Recently rolled his ankle. Didn't want to tie his shoes up tight. Jalen, you need a big month. You have got to convince fans you're an all-star. Detroit, we know you're a star. That ain't who you got to convince. You got to convince the rest of the league. And just like Cade, your inconsistency allows for people to just forget about you. If I'm honest, too easy to forget about when you're not showing up consistently. The rebound, the rebounding, the scoring. And let me not get it twisted. You're doing your job. You're doing it well. You've improved drastically on fouls. I don't want to say drastically, but for the most part. You're also doing a better job of staying aggressive. I keep saying you need to shoot at least 15 shot attempts a game. Get to the free throw line. Doing better on defense. Even closed out a game for us against Portland. Kudos. I just don't know how aware you are that you're trying to prove that you've taken that next step to be a star and that you deserve 35 plus million a year. The reality is the Detroit Pistons may not be competing against anybody to re-sign. You may mess around and end up with a $28 million deal because you didn't make this all-star team. You have got to step it up, bro. You've got to. I need more consistency. I know you're 22. Shit, I wasn't consistent at 22. I get it. But if you want that bag, you got to figure it out, bro. Show up in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth. Stay out of foul trouble. B-ball Paul. To be honest, we can't get enough of B-ball Paul. How he plays the game, what he does night in and night out. Can't be understated how integral he has been to our team. Whenever he's called upon, just like Marcus Sasser, he delivers. Just like Javonte Green, he delivers. If I'm honest, I want to see Isaiah Stewart permanently in that starting lineup just so we can get more B-ball Paul. Shoot, I wouldn't mind seeing B-ball Paul start alongside of Isaiah Stewart, especially if Tobias Harris is still out and Jalen Duren potentially. See what B-ball Paul can do next to Stu. That's some great defense right there. That's some great defense right there. Speaking of great defense, y'all got 29 people in the chat, 21 likes. Do me a favor. Smash the like button for me. Remember, it is a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. Big thing for the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. I really do. This is a lot of fun for me. And also consider being a member. My members are dope. I don't know about other channels, but my members are dope, bro. Got mad love for my members. All right. Here we go. Marcus Sasser. The assassin. 100%. The assassin. Oh, before I get to that, Big Aggie. One thing I hate, silly fouls from JD and Stu and crying about the fouls. Hell yeah. I mean, look, I've been saying from the beginning, yo, the biggest impediment to this team is their maturity. They're too damn immature. Like, real talk. Like, you ain't got to cry about every foul, bro. And it comes to a certain point, you've got to learn how to either draw the foul so you get to the free throw line or take a better shot. But quit expecting the referee to see every foul, every grab, every slap, because you know what? When you do it, you don't mind when the ref doesn't call it. It's part of the game, bro. But worse, you don't want to get back on defense. You're so busy crying to the referee. And now we're going 5-on-4. It's getting old, bro. It's getting old. Talk to the ref during free throws. Let them know before games what you want them to look out for. And then just chill the freak out. Chill out. It's not helping us. Now, Marcus Sasser. Popcorn hella good, though. I don't know if y'all on this popcorn. This right here, bro. It's right here. Fire, bro. Fire. Anyways, Marcus Sasser, the assassin. Y'all been telling y'all about Marcus Sasser since he got drafted. I'm trying to tell y'all he's him. I'm trying to tell y'all my man Marcus Sasser, the assassin, is a walking bucket. But he's not just a bucket. He's a shooter. He's a scorer. He's a playmaker. He's a facilitator. He's an on-ball dog defender. I think as we get acclimated to him on the roster, we'll do a better job covering for him when there's a mismatch. You get a 6'9" Andrew Wiggins guarded by 6'1" Marcus Sasser. We will do a better job of making sure that we rotate over, bring the double, won't let him get posted up. But he fights. He knows when to commit the foul on the ground before he goes into his shot when he's overmatched. Probably has one of the more secure handles on the team. Probably the best free throw shooter on the team. One of the most clutch. He is so many things offensively. 100% I could see him as our closer. With Cade and Marcus Sasser closing out games. Did y'all see Marcus Sasser get into his pick and roll bag? I've been telling y'all he got a pick and roll bag. I've been telling y'all. That ain't new. That ain't new. Marcus Sasser can get you with the come around that screen. He's patient. He can set his man up, give him a little in and out. You know what I'm saying? Get him leaning the opposite way. Then bring him back over that screen. Comes off textbook shoulder to shoulder. Gets around it. A little hesitation. Puts his man in jail. Peeps the scene. Throw that little lob. During with the flush. Marcus Sasser's got the full bag, bro. And he's also, if I'm honest, he's also just entertaining to watch. You know when you watch Kyrie out there just do his thing? Prime Damian Lillard? Some guys are just fun to watch aesthetically. That's Marcus Sasser too. He is entertaining. His game is so smooth. I digress. Marcus Sasser, future sixth man of the year, closer for the NBA champion Detroit Pistons. He's going to win us some games in the playoffs. He's going to give you that Jason Terry, Lou Williams action. He's going to give you that Jose Barea, Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if y'all remember. But there's these guys who've come along throughout the league. Damn it. Coming off the bench, any given night, drop 20 plus points on your head and go toe to toe with the best players in the league. I think that's Marcus Sasser. I 100% believe that is Marcus Sasser. Now let's keep going. Javonte Green, what a godsend. He's getting paid a little over $2 million. That contract is beautiful. God, that's a beautiful contract. And he's the first one off the bench for us. First one off the bench. Javonte Green is one of those guys that you watch play and you just go, man, I want him on my team. I want him on the court. I want to see him more and more and more and more and more because every time he gets out there, he just does everything you want to see a bench player do. Knocks down shots, gets out in transition, makes the extra hustle plays, gets us the offensive board, gets us the defensive board, boxes out, sets good screens, maintains spacing, makes good decisions, right? Low turnover, low stress. You're not worried about him out there. He's always adding to the team. Whatever we're doing, he just brings better and more to it. His defense, his toughness, his physicality, his intensity, his focus. Hot damn, look. That's who we want. That's who we want out there. Javonte Green, keep doing what you're doing at 32 years old. Now I'm going to skip some of these guys. Like Bobby Clement, this is whatever at this point. Isaac Jones, who? Chaz Anier. We can talk about him real quick. And then we're going to talk about Dennis Jenkins. We're going to skip Tolu Smith and Wendell Moore. I'll highlight them a little bit. Chaz Anier. Some of us were talking about we want to see more of him. I'm a snacks guy. I don't know if you can tell. Chaz Anier. I like him as a player. I do. Is he ready to contribute right now to a playoff potential contending team? No. No. That's been evident when we've seen him out there. Juan Harris, completely agree. His day is coming. Just not this year. Just the way it is. You're a rookie. Extremely talented. Extremely skilled. I love your game. We're going to let you take the time you need to work it out. Probably when Duncan Robinson goes, along with Karis LeVert. What's good, Gretzky? It's good to see you in the chat. As much as I know Chaz Anier is going to help us, until Duncan Robinson is gone and Karis LeVert is gone, he's just not going to see minutes. I think that's just the reality. But he can certainly help us out. And I think he will in the future. Just not this season. Wendell Moore and Tolu Smith. I like them as players. I like them. If I'm honest, I think Wendell Moore has a lot of potential. He was a top player in his high school class. Went to Duke. One and done. Has great measurables. I think he's like 6'5", with like a 6'10", 6'11" wingspan. Really athletic. Good in transition. Has worked on his skill, meaning his ball handling, knocking down shots. Almost like a bigger but less refined Javonte Green. But Wendell Moore is 24 years old. Javonte Green is 32. By the time Wendell Moore gets 28, 29, I think we're going to start seeing Javonte Green type stuff just in a bigger, more athletic body. I don't know about more athletic, but just in a bigger body. And then there's Tolu Smith. I think Tolu might actually get some burn over the course of these next couple of games if Jalen Duren is out. which I keep saying, I think more than likely, because he wasn't able to return in the second half of the Miami Heat game, I think more than likely he's going to be out at least one game. At least one game. That is what I'm anticipating. Tolu Smith can get some burn. We've got Cleveland. We've got New York. We're going to need him. Now, we may decide we want to just try to run him out the gym, go kind of small, go with the SAR at the 4, alongside of Isaiah Stewart. And also, best believe this will be a couple of games that I expect to see Isaiah Stewart take 3 to 5 threes per game. With Duren out, going up against those monstrous lineups. Look, stop trying to post up everybody. It's not necessary. You ain't got to prove it to nobody. But you're 6'7" on a good day. You got a great wingspan. You're tough. You're physical. Worked on your footwork and your touch around the rim. I got it. But I don't want to see jump hooks over Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. I don't want to see jump hooks over Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. I just don't. Now, if you want to pick and pop, go to the 3, see him closing out hard, pump fake, and then attack him, straight line drive to the rim, all right, I'll give you that. But I want to see you expand your game. I want to see you playing in that expanse of your game. Talking about Isaiah Stewart. Tolu Smith can literally be somebody that helps us with depth. Because if Isaiah Stewart gets into foul trouble, which he's more than likely to do, against Karl-Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, and the like, he is probably going to end up in foul trouble at some point, especially if Duncan Robinson's still in that starting lineup alongside of him. You're going to have straight line drives straight to the rim. Tolu Smith could get minutes. I like his motor. I like his hustle. I like his physicality. I like his interior play, his rebounding, screening. I think he's a poor man's Jalen Duren. If he had a 7'5" wingspan, he'd probably be a major part of our rotation already. He's got a shorter wingspan for a 6'11" center. Now, last but not least, Dennis Jenkins. Let me unwrap this take for Dennis Jenkins. Dennis Jenkins is going to be back in our lineup. He's going to be back in our rotation at some point. I think what happened is that he showed out. The league took notice. The league created a scouting report. And then he has to adjust. I think he's a true facilitator. And I think that sometimes teams figure that out and they're like, okay, you're a true facilitator. So then what we're going to do is make you into a scorer. And he doesn't know how to switch back and forth, which is one of the distinguishing factors for an NBA starting point guard. Maybe even backup point guard. You got to be able to do both, to be the scorer and to be the table setting facilitator. Yo, who is this? Satellite Sister. Oh, what's good, Satellite Sister? I got to check you out. Just became a member on the homie subscription. I appreciate that. Hey, doing it big for 2026. Happy New Year's. Salute. I hope you're well and enjoying the show. Please feel free. Throw your comments up there. I always try to get to my members' comments no matter what. All right? Welcome. Welcome. I appreciate you joining. Let's say this. Dennis Jenkins is going to come back at some point. I love his defense on the ball. He moves his feet, plays with a lot of energy. G League guys, generally who are dominant in the G League, generally have long careers in the NBA. Those guys are just the perfect asset in the NBA. Low cost, great effort and energy. Usually have a good amount of skill. The NBA needs those. Because when you look at contracts, when you look at the cost of building a championship roster, you got to have guys who can contribute in a major way, in a big way, in a significant way, but on a really low costing deal. B-Ball Paul, Javonte Green, Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser. These are amazing contracts. Dennis Jenkins will be back. And I'm excited for it. Yo, Ray Floyd, what's good? It's good to see you in the chat. He said, oh, Ray Floyd, you just became a member today? Oh, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go, Ray. Ray. Some of my closest friends are named Ray. Real talk. Got a Jamaican brother named Ray. The homie for real. Let me say this, because now we got to talk about the outlook of this team. It's the State of the Union address, State of the Detroit Pistons address. We're headed in the right direction. Changing of a guard is going to come. At some point, we're going to have to just rip the Band-Aid off and put Ivy in that starting lineup. Let him sink or swim. We got to find out. You got January, February, March, April. That's 4 months to figure it out. Going into the playoffs. We have got to mature. We've got to grow up. Somebody has to be the guy who holds us consistently accountable. And I don't know if there's a guy on the court who does that for us, which means we can somewhat fly off the rails very easily. And as a result, we can beat ourselves. Turnovers. Yo, yesterday I'm watching K Cunningham pass that ball. As a coach, it's what we call a lazy pass. One-handed, nonchalant, no snap on the pass, no real commitment to making sure the ball gets through. Just a toss of the ball. We still pick up bad fouls. We still forget to box out for rebounds. We still forget to communicate on defense, that is. We still seem lost in not knowing where to be in our half-court offense. We still get into our heads, turn the ball over, get technicals, argue with the refs. We're a very immature team. So despite heading in the right direction, we have a big kind of impediment before us. It's almost like a great sprinter who pretty readily gets false starts. It's probably the best way to put it. A great sprinter who readily gets false starts. A boxer, extremely skilled, but when he retreats, he goes back in a straight line. No turn, no changing levels. He just backs up in a straight line. So he's right on line to get hit. We just have that glitch. We have that lack of focus glitch. And that is our major impediment. When we're locked in and focused, we saw what we did to the Lakers. That's who we are. When I think about what 2026 is going to bring, this month is going to mean a lot. This month is going to tell us a whole lot about this team. But at the same time, it's also going to test us. We could go 0-3 to start this year. But the mark of a truly, really great team is they rise to the occasion. There was a time, if you listen to like commentary one at LeBron, he used to tell his team, we don't lose 2 in a row. We could lose one. We don't lose two. One might happen. But damn it, that next game, hell no. We'll see if the Pistons carry out that type of winning mentality, that type of winning mantra of expectation that they have for themselves. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Because if they don't, this could be an ugly month for us. We find ourselves slip, see the Knicks and other teams overtake us at the top of the East. And it's going to be a lot of tough conversations. Ray Floyd was good. I feel like we gave up on Monty Morris too soon. He had an amazing assist to turnover ratio. He could have taught Cade a thing or two. I completely agree. Let's also keep in mind Monty Morris was atrocious for us. And if we're honest, there's a reason why Monty Morris, I don't even know if he's in the league right now. He might have been released. I don't know if we ever see Monty Morris again in the NBA. I think he might be done, if I'm honest. So as much as I like Monty Morris, the player, when he was healthy, I don't think he's that player, and I don't ever think he becomes that player again. I think he's done. Now, he might go overseas, play in Europe a little bit. Hey, do your thing. But they guards out there got pop. They got pop. They don't mess around out there. They will embarrass you. Now, JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon are committed to the veterans. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm concerned, but I'm not mad. Because the veterans for the Detroit Pistons bring us that stability of maturity that we desperately need. We desperately need the Detroit Pistons veterans to bring the stability of maturity and focus. But I think we could get that from Marcus Sasser. He's 25. I think we get that from Paul Reed. I think we get that from Javonte Green. And I think the biggest switch that we really need, I might even do a short video on this, is that we got to switch the veterans who we look to bring that maturity, that consistency, that focus to our team. Instead of it being Karis LeVert, instead of expecting Duncan Robinson, Javonte Green, B-Ball Paul, and Marcus Sasser. Those are the veteran consistent presences that I'll take. That's what I want. That's what I want. Because those dudes right there, those boys right there, when they're in the game together, we have comebacks, we blow games open, we lock up, we create turnovers, we get into our style of play, we hoop. That's our hoop squad. When we want to start hooping, let's get Javonte up in there and B-ball real quick. We're going to start hooping. We're going to start locking up. We start playing Detroit basketball. And that's one of the most important things that these guys you're thinking about when it comes to trades, signings. Do they embody Detroit basketball? That's why I'm saying no to Michael Porter Jr. He does not embody Detroit basketball. Whoever I bring up, Quentin Grimes, PJ Washington, I brought these guys up before. They embody Detroit basketball. It's the only reason why I consider them. It's the only reason why that they're an option. You have to know what you're about and find your people. Detroit Pistons, if you're really about defense, if you're really about toughness, physicality, playing with that level of intensity, that's who you got to bring in. Trajan Langdon, I don't think you've done a bad job so far as a GM. I'm not giving you credit for the team that Troy Weaver built. I do give you credit for JB Bickerstaff. Great job going out and get a playoff level coach. Great job. You wasted no time. First man on the job. You followed up on Troy Weaver's draft pick that he recommended. Went with it, grabbed Ron Holland. Great job. Picked up Chaz in the second round. I liked it. I'm not mad at all. Though I will say Kobe Sanders, who the Clippers picked up, if y'all watch my videos on the draft, I said I liked him a little bit better because he's about 6'8". Got a shorter wingspan, but he's a point forward who can shoot and defend. I said he might be a little bit better for us because those versatile players who could play 3 different positions, guard 3 to 4 different positions, and shoot and handle and play make, like, those guys do really well in the league. So I liked him a little bit better than Chazanier, but I'm not mad. So I gave you about a B grade on the Chazanier draft. You weren't able to re-sign Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey this offseason for whatever reason. So the jury is still out. I like Trajan. He's got work to do. He's got work to do because he brings in guys in terms of signing in the offseason to complement this team, and they do. But they're not quite Detroit basketball. Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley gave it all they got. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson are giving it all they got. If anything, it's probably a testament to JB Bickerstaff that he's able to get out of these guys to play Detroit-style basketball, who traditionally never played Detroit-style basketball. See, Ibrahim 2250 says we're one piece away, it feels like. Yeah, it feels like it. But I think the piece is already on the team. We just need to mature. We just need to mature. If I'm the Detroit Pistons, I am more than open to hearing about trades for Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert. Might do a video on this too. Because I got B-Ball Paul. I got Javonte Green. I got Marcus Sasser. Dennis Jenkins. And Ron Holland. I can lose all 3 of those guys. And I think we maintain. Because of the aforementioned Sasser, Jenkins, Green, and Paul. They're guys who embody Detroit basketball. They play our style. They also are calming presences for this team. Stu is already headed into the starting lineup. Ivy is likely already headed into the starting lineup. And if we have a bench of B-Ball Paul, Ron Holland, Javonte Green, Marcus Sasser, Dennis Jenkins, I say we're straight. We're legit. I'm not mad at all. We still got Chazanier in the wings. We still got Tolu Smith. I'm fine with going to war with those guys. I'm fine with going into a fight with those guys. Those guys I want to be in a fight with. Because I know they're going to punch first and punch last. They got that Bud Crawford, that Terrence Bud Crawford to them. Where they hate to lose at anything. Sometimes look at Karis LeVert. I think he's okay with losing a game or 2. I'm just saying, he just seems like that guy. Just seems like that guy. His man scores on him. He's like, it happens. And I'm looking at him like, bruh, shit, come on. I digress. If I had to grade the Detroit Pistons this season so far, going into 2026, I would give them a B+. Where's Bobby Klintman? I don't know where Bobby Klintman is. He has not been able to break the rotation. And that's not a good sign. At 6'10", I think he has a lot of talent. I think he's someone who, if he gets into the right situation opportunity, he's going to look really good. And I think he's going to have a good, solid career. He's going to get signed a couple times, probably play through his early 30s. Very skilled game. I just don't think that he is maturing fast enough to catch up to everyone else. Keeps getting hurt. I don't know if he's a part of our future. But the reality is, who cares? He's on a great deal. 1.9 million this year, 2.2 next year, 2.48 the year after that, and that's a team option. He doesn't hurt us at all to have on the team. If he needs an extra year or two, if he pops in year 4, cool. I'm here for it. But I'm not dying for this. I'm not. Bobby Clement is cool. We'll talk about him when he becomes relevant. If he ever wants to become relevant. But that's my state of the union for the Detroit Pistons. Yo, I know we want to talk about trades and stuff like that. I just don't know who. I just don't know who is legitimately out there that is actually available. Trey Murphy III is probably not available. Lauri Markkanen is not really available, especially for what they're going to want from us. You got guys like, what's his name in Brooklyn? I actually like him a lot. I like Brudman in Brooklyn a lot. I don't think he's available. What's his name? Noah Clowney. I don't think Noah Clowney's available. Okay. Nice player. I like Quentin Grimes in Philly. That could be a trade deadline move. If Ivy still can't get into the starting lineup, if he's still struggling, and we want to make that move, that trade for Quentin Grimes, hell yeah. I'm here for it. Because that boy's a dog. And I can see Quentin Grimes in our starting lineup. He's only 25 years old. Now he's looking to get re-signed, but I think we could re-sign him for like 18. Which would free up so much cap. He doesn't have the ceiling of a Jaden Ivey. But boy, does he play some winning basketball. And this team needs more guys who play winning basketball. James Duhame, Ivy isn't struggling. I don't believe I said Ivy is struggling. I think my point is that Jaden Ivey needs to step it up, recognize that he's playing for his future, and betting on himself with the contract situation means that you have to prove it night in and night out. That's what that means. When Jimmy Butler bet on himself on the Chicago Bulls or the Minnesota Timberwolves, he knew every single night he had to play with that chip on his shoulder. I'm not seeing that energy from Jaden Ivey. If you watch how veterans do it who are betting on themselves, they don't come back until they're ready to go 110%. And then when they do, they go 110%. They're ready to rock. Jaden Ivey has not looked ready to rock consistently. He's had flashes, yes, completely. But he has not been consistent this entire season. 2026, I'm hoping and I believe that he is going to figure that out. But I also believe he needs to be in that starting lineup sooner than later. But if he can't make that leap, if he can't, maybe there's something else going on. Maybe Trajan Lane has already made it clear, I'm not going to give you over 30. And Ivy's like, man, I don't want to be here no more then. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe hardball in the front office. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of stuff happens behind closed doors, and you find out what really happened around the Oval Office with the team president, all that stuff. And you're like, oh, shit, we didn't know that, right? Jaden Ivey may not make that leap. If the Detroit Pistons want to go out and get Quentin Grimes, I'm here for it. Give me another University of Houston player to go along with Marcus Sasser. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shit, maybe we want to go after Jarris Walker in Indiana. I like him, bro. I liked him in the draft. He could be our power forward of the future. I mean, I know we got Stu. He could be nice for us. I'm saying I like him. I like his defense. I think if he didn't get hurt in the finals, I think Indiana might have pulled that out, man. His defensive versatility. Look, all that saying, when it comes to trades, it's got to be somebody who's Detroit basketball, and it has to make sense, meaning on both sides, not just a what if. Jonathan Kuminga is somebody else I also like, but I'm not sure what his injury status and all that stuff is. I can go through it. We're going to go through it more and more as the month progresses. All it's to say is Detroit, let's go. B plus for the season so far. I think we step it up in the second half of the season, especially pushing for the All-Star break. Duran's trying to become an All-Star for the first time. It's really going to help him out in terms of contract negotiations. And then you also have Cade Cunningham trying to get in that All-NBA, for sure All-Star, potential MVP ballot, right? Duran trying to get that most improved player, even though Danny Avdia is kind of running away with that. I think we have a big time second half of the season. And I'm excited for it. Ibrahim says, need Asar to evolve. He's a star. I believe so too. I think he will. I think, especially as we have more breaks, he's somebody that the more rested he is, the better he looks. The more fatigued he is, the more he disappears. But hey, it's your man 100 Grand Ross for The Rock Never Stops. Remember, if you haven't smashed the like button for me, please do so. It's a little thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. And I appreciate all the love and support. Please consider becoming a subscriber. Definitely consider becoming a member in 2026. It's just the thing to do. Become a member. Become a member. It's the thing to do. James Duhane, Ibrahim, 2250. I already talked about Trey Murphy III. The whole league wants Trey Murphy III, including New Orleans. He's not going anywhere. Nor are we going to give up what it would take to get him. All right, I digress. I'm going to end this video, but I do want to end it with the word for the evening. Yo, play your game. Play your game. In life, one of the things about these Detroit Pistons, and I'm going somewhere with this, is that they are championship talent, even if they don't always play championship ball. Meaning do all the little things, dot the I's, cross the T's, punctuate. They miss a lot. But they play to their strengths. And JB Pickerstaff has been masterful to create an offensive flow, a culture, set of expectations to position these guys to be successful, to be who they are, and maximize that for the sake of this team's progress and success. Many times we think we have to become something else in order to be great. We got to become the next Steve Jobs. We got to become the next this, that. We got to make this amount of money. We got to drive this type of car. We got to get this type of... Man, I always say, no one has ever had to be perfect to be great. You don't have to be like something else that you think is better than you in order to be great. Play your game. Just like Marcus Sasser. We asked him to be like Dennis Jenkins and be a setup facilitation guy. It didn't look good. But as soon as we ask him to be him, back-to-back double-digit scoring games. The same thing with your life, bro. Play your game. Play your game. Be who you are. Play to your strengths. Know your strengths. And that's a whole other topic, but you got to know what your strengths are. What you're about, what you're good at, because it's through that you get to leverage life to find your success. You're not supposed to be like others to be successful. You're supposed to be like you. And as you master that, the world becomes your oyster. I remember I got through my master's program. I tell the story all the time. I used to work with young men in college. And I said, I talented my way through school. I enjoyed writing. I'm a good reader. I'm a good speaker, so I can do presentations. But I'm terrible at homework. I don't do it. It's just always been a glitch. I'm never on time, right? Y'all should know that. I keep telling y'all I'm on at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm never on at that time, bro. I'm never. And y'all still rocking with me. Not because I'm on time, but because I'm me. Apparently, you like something about this show that I put on this channel. I can't be like other folks. I admire the other dudes who can do the whole video stuff in the background. They do all the little extra edits and they put the thing, you see the little thing that advertise and they set up all this. That ain't me, bro. That ain't me. I can only be me. But I got to where I am today because I have maximized who I can be in my life. I wish the same thing for all of y'all. Know yourself. Know what you're good at. Bet on that. Even with your partner. If you in a romantic relationship with your kids, maybe you don't make a lot of money. Spend time with your kids. They'll love you for that. And you will be a great parent because you show up and spend time with them, not because you made a lot of money. Stop judging yourself upon external values of others and just be the best that you can be. And apply that to the things that mean the most in your life. And I guarantee you, you will be successful. Guarantee it. With that said, live your life to the fullest, laugh deeply and love hard. Have a wonderful evening. Make sure you get some rest. Because remember, like we talked about before, show up consistently and how you take care of yourself so you can show up consistently where it matters most in your life. All right? You feel me? Get some sleep, stay hydrated, stay warm, and I'm going to get at y'all in the morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be on that CP time, but I'm going to get at y'all. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.